Welcome to the Skeptic Zone, the podcast from Australia for science and reason.
Hello and welcome to the Skeptic Zone for the 8th of March 2015. Richard Saunders here. This is episode number 333.
That's halfway to the devil's house.
Maynard. Oh, hello, Maynard. How are you?
It's great to be here. I'm just here having a drink, waiting for Eric von Daniken to come on the telly. And next time you're coming over filming me, don't try to do that while I'm watching my favourite Aliens documentary.
Yes, of those people who saw the little clip we put up on the Skeptic Zone's Facebook site, it's a little clip of Maynard and I watching Ancient Aliens or some such show.
Yeah, he interrupted me. I was getting very scared. I was hiding behind a big, thick medical book.
The things you see on the Skeptic Zones and the things you hear on the Skeptic Zone. Coming up this week, we have an interview with a guy from Moscow, Kirill Alferov from the Moscow Skeptics. He's going to be talking about a test his group did on Barnum statements and testing psychics and paranormal things in general. Have you ever been to Russia, Moscow, Maynard?
No, I'm not allowed there for reasons basically due to the Cold War. I was a U-2 pilot. We could go into all that stuff, but I won't really. It's basically like flying a large glider with an engine. That's all you need to know about flying the U-2. And I even land it with my eyes shut. I'm sure they have guys driving cars either side of it. I can land a U-2 with my eyes shut.
I believe you, Maynard. And thousands wouldn't, but I believe you. After that, it's a week in science from the Royal Institution of Australia. And then we head to Skeptics in the pub to test, informally and with a lot of fun, the premium wine card.
Ah, yes, that's right. Just how many drinks does it take for a skeptic to go from a premium to a standard?
That's right. It took a few, as it turns out, but you'll hear all about that a bit later on in the show.
And we just happened to be watching television, and the word drunkenness just came up on the screen with some photos.
It did.
It did. Look, it's amazing.
That's just crazy.
It is, indeed. And what else we got? We've got a week in science from those heavy drinkers in South Australia.
That's right. And that's about it for this week. So we've got those three segments coming up. And Maynard, it's nice to come back to your place every now and then and gaze upon your wall, because there's a picture up there of you on the set of the Enterprise as Captain Kirk or Captain Maynard.
That's right. I'm sitting in the captain's chair. But the main reason Richard likes coming here is because he likes looking at my Bananarama poster, isn't it?
Oh, it is, Maynard, it is. And then, of course, we were just saying on the show last week, we were mentioning the fact that Leonard Nimoy passed away. So it's good to come here and see a little bit of Star Trek around the place.
That's right. Whenever people come to my place, Maynard, they say, Maynard, you're just a little bit of Shatner.
They do. They do. Well, we better get on with the show, Maynard. So while everybody's enjoying the show, what should we run away and eat?
You should go and eat some halloumi. That's pronounced halloumi.
Well, Maynard and I run away and eat some halloumi.
Halloumi.
We hope you enjoy the Skeptic Zone.
Halloumi.
And now, my friends, I'm very happy to be on the line all the way to Moscow in Russia with somebody you know so well because you hear the little promotion on the Skeptic Zone. It's Kirill Alferov from Russia. Hello.
Hey, what's up, Richard?
Hey, you know what? It was really great to meet you last year at the Amazing Meeting.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I was also very happy to meet everybody and meet you. And I remember you and I were actually sitting at one of the tables doing our blogs.
Yes.
So it was very uniting. Like, here are the actual skeptical activists come to town, and then they're sitting working on their blogs. It was wow.
I think you're right. I think I was trying to update something probably on the Skeptic Zone, and you were working on something side by side on our laptops. And you're absolutely right. It was, and it goes to demonstrate that this is what we actually do. Even if we're at a convention, we have to stop and keep doing this sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I think we spoke like a year ago, I think, about that time.
Yeah.
How does my voice sound? I had a cold last week, and when you have a cold, usually your voice becomes lower, and in general, my voice becomes deeper with time, and it has got something to do with my skeptical activism.
Oh, yes.
So, I'll explain. So here's what happens.
Yeah.
So you have, you know that each country has their own like pseudoscientific channels that air pseudoscientific documentaries.
Oh, sure.
And the narrator of those documentaries will very often have a very deep voice. And they will say something like, and then Mr. Smith saw some lights, but he was sure that this is actually a saucer. He didn't have no. And then they would say something like this, like, and then he made a very good video, but then he got into a bar fight and they broke his camera. Because you're often trying to go into that voice, you become better at it and better, and then you find yourself talking like, I don't know, Commander Worf. So
Kirill, I think it's suiting you very well at the moment. I can see a new career for you doing voiceovers for documentaries. But it is good to catch up with you too, because I know you're very active, of course, in Russia with the skeptical movement. What's new in the skeptical movement in Russia?
Right. So this is a very good question, and there are there are good news and there are bad news. The good news is that we did a lot of things. We ran the first Skeptic conference in Russia, and it was crazy, and it went much better than I thought it would. So,
that's good to hear.
Yes, and when you organize things like technology is important. Like, will the sound be recorded well? And we actually had people come over from another city. There was a guy with cameras who recorded it from several vantage points, and I had all my sound equipment brought in, and there was not a single technical problem, which was fascinating.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I did do like musical performances before in my life, so I sort of knew like you have to bring all the cables and all that stuff. So I had everything with me, and it worked fine. And more people showed up than we expected. There were like about 250 people.
Wow.
We really thought it would be good if 70 people come, but that was like 250 people. Although many of them did not know what Skeptic Society is, they did not know me. But every now and then, so we were selling merchandise there. We like printed some merchandise, like bags that said this bag is like full of skepticism and stuff like that. And it was very rewarding to, I think last week, see someone on a lecture dedicated to science, like popular science lecture, see somebody with that bag. Like, wow, these people actually exist. So, and also, I spent a lot of my private money, obviously, for this. And we were able to get back more than half of it, which was also very, very touching that people actually donated a lot in general.
That's good to know, yeah. It sounds to me like there's a real interest in that part of the world.
So now the bad thing, it's sort of, so I made sort of a video for everybody that, we have to make more of our own original material. And this is something that is developing very, very slowly. So people are in general very ready to translate material, the Western material, documentaries and stuff. Yeah. But very few people actually do something on their own, which I consider to be a problem, because whenever you're translating someone's material, you are not an investigator. And whenever when you try to investigate something yourself, you yourself become a better skeptic, a better activist, a better scientist. You learn things that you will not learn when you're just translating stuff. And so I know from my own experience that making your own investigations, it's insanely important. You just become a better investigator. And so before we get to the experiments that we want to talk about today, I want just to say that we have, and I'm hoping maybe I'll be able to chime in a workshop or something at TAM this year and tell about the Nina Kulagina, the telekinesis woman that was prominent in the Soviet era and that many people around the world know about.
Oh yes, very famous. Yes.
Yes, and we believe that we nailed her. We believe that we found some First of all, there was a very realistic method suggested. And we found some evidence that this is the way she was doing this exactly. And we also put up a questionnaire that answers each and every one of the arguments that were put forward. And among the, small but active skeptical circles, it is considered that we, the Skeptic Society, have actually closed the topic of Nina Kalagina, and many of the things can now be put to rest because this is the best theory that we have right now, how she did it exactly. So, but, that's for later.
Well, I'm sure James Randi will be very interested in talking to you about that. But just getting back to experiments, this is something very important, and Skeptic Zone listeners after this interview will be hearing about an informal experiment we did in Sydney at Skeptics in the Pub with the premium wine card. But putting together experiments, testing psychics, is a very important aspect of what skepticism is all about. But I understand that you've had some interesting experiences doing that yourself.
Yeah, so let me start off with the Barnum effect that we tried to reproduce 2 weeks ago. So we tried to do the classical test when you would take some sort of a psychological analysis. And I think I took one from you. I think you lent me the text you're using typically for this.
I did. I remember that well. And you'll be interested to know that years ago now, I asked James Randi, and he sent me that. I tweaked it a little bit for Australia, and now you're using a version of it.
Yes, and we also tweaked it. I tweaked it to sound less like astrology and more like psychological analysis, so that it's more believable. Because the people that we would go to and the people that would definitely be in the space that we have skeptic meetings at would probably not be into astrology. Right. Most people would not be there. I just knew that this is the type of public there. So we said that we're going to run a psychological experiment, and then we didn't give any details. And so we had two groups of people. Unfortunately, there wasn't a lot of them. And I actually went for the type of the experiment that Darren Brown has in his trick of the mind.
Yeah.
I think it was something like that. Yeah. So he has several groups of people, 5 and 6 people, and it worked fine. So I decided that it's probably easier to go for that one. And so the first group of people was 5 people, and we gave them the envelopes. They would have to do they had to take a pencil and draw their hand. Well, draw the silhouette of their hand. The shape of their hand on the paper. Then they have to write down their birth date. If they knew the time of their birth, it would help. And,
yes.
And I guess that's it, something like that. And then we said that we're going to give the psychological analysis. And then they waited for 30 minutes, and we put in actually handwritten text. And this was important because I thought that this would be realistic. We have no printer here, so we have actual written text given to them.
Interesting.
And
yes.
Yeah, and so the first group gave the following percentages, and we asked them to rate it 100%, absolutely accurate, 0% nothing.
Yeah.
And the percentages were such: 80%, 30%, 50%, 0%, and 25%. Now, the person who put 0 said that she knew what Barnum effect is, and she kept laughing when she was reading her text, and so. Yes, and it is possible that she told it to the rest of the group because they seemed informed.
Oh, dear.
But on the other hand, there was one girl that put 80%. And in the end, she said, yes, but this is actually right about my profession here. It's about my job. And I thought, and later on when they left, I said, remember that girl? That was the Barnum effect. That was the Barnum effect in action. And if we had more people like her, so I think one person bought it among the group.
Yeah.
And then we had a second group. 2 people from that group knew what Barnum effect was at the beginning. There were 2 people who did not know about the Barnum effect, but one of them said that they believed the text was too abstract. So she noticed that it's abstract. The other guy put 90%. But the second group was that the girl who said that the text is too abstract was the first one to go, the first one to give her opinion.
Right.
And so I believe that could have affected how other people view their results. And so that showed to us that it's very difficult to reproduce experiments, that there are many subtle details that you have to be aware of. For example, should they give their responses in private or out loud? Randy did it out loud. Some people do it in private, like you have to write it down and then they read it. Some people give interviews like Darren Brown did. There are many other ways to do this experiment. So this is a decision. But there was another very interesting thing. And later on, when I did research, I found that we were obviously not the first ones to come up with this. So one of our skeptics who were regularly on the meetings asked this. So during the experiment, we're asking the participants to rate the accuracy of the description. But when we ask that how do you know that they're giving us 80%, that they mean that the accuracy only towards them and not accuracy in general as well. So if we try to differentiate these things, then we are sort of giving the trick away. And if we're not, then how do we know that this is what they mean?
Well, you raised some very interesting points there about testing claims in general and trying to recreate tests or come up with new tests. And I've certainly learnt this from experience at the Australian Skeptics and with the James Randi Educational Foundation, as I'm on the $1 Million Challenge Committee there. It's not easy. It is not easy, is it?
Yeah. And we had also people come to us and say, okay, so we have a psychic that we know, and say she moves objects on the water. So, like you have a plate of water, and then they put some very light object there, and then the psychic concentrates and the object moves towards the edge of the plate. So this is what typically happens.
Right.
And so they say, we want to repeat the experiment, but with proper controls. And you start to think of the correct protocol. And it's not easy. It's not easy at all, because then you realize how many variables you have to exclude. You realize how difficult it is to formalize the experience at all. And very often you realize that about 80% of those claims are not even impressive because of that, because they're simply not formalized. Like, what exactly does she do? Does she move the object on the water? And they can't answer that question. They can't answer what the expected result is.
Well, that's very interesting you should say that, because for the Australian Skeptics at least, we have 3 questions we ask people when they're applying. The first question is, can you tell us clearly and simply what your claim is? And a lot of people can't do that. They cannot tell us what their claim is. And the next question is, to what degree of accuracy do you expect when you do your claim? Again, a lot of people can't answer that question either. So a lot of the times we don't test people, and some lead some people to say to us, well, why don't you skeptics test this person or that person? And all we can say is, well, we can try, but often we can't even get to the first base with them.
Yeah, and I think that many of them don't even understand the problem. Like, here, I can do this, but what is it? What is the expected result? For example, if you're showing us telekinesis, are you dragging the object towards you, or what? Or if we put several objects, what will happen? And they can't answer the question. And okay, what are we testing? And they can't answer this. They're like, come on, you're trying to be too formal. No, but it's very difficult to explain. And we were contacted by a person who says that he is a physicist. And I'm like, right, so you're a physicist and you don't know what a controlled experiment is? Oh, and boy. I think that it's possible. You can't be a physicist and not really think about it much, because there are certainly spheres of physics where, they probably, a lot of scientists do not have to be active skeptics to do their experiments, because they have these rules embedded in their profession. This is how things are done.
Yeah.
But why things are done that way, not all of them can answer.
You bring up a very interesting point, and I'm surprised when people who regard themselves as scientists or work in scientific fields seem to lack a certain basic understanding of the scientific method. I always find that amusing and surprising and a little disappointing at the same time. But it's interesting to find out that you have exactly the same problems all the way over there in Russia that we have in Australia and we've seen in the United States and other countries. It's universal.
Yeah, I guess it's because we all have brains. That's
good point.
That's the denominator. So I think that our brains think in a very similar way, all of us. And it's tough. It's interesting, though. It's because that meeting where we did the Barnum effect, it felt really special because we actually tried to do this and people were talking about it. And, we prepared all the stuff. We made the envelopes. We had the text. We had the procedure. And also, the important thing about Barnum effect experiment, by the way, was to be very serious about it.
Yeah,
like to convey a seriousness, dedication that this is not a joke, that this is And so I was very formal, like, okay, please everybody sit down, please open your envelopes, that kind of stuff, and it felt as if it was very serious, like a real experiment.
I think that's absolutely the right attitude to have. You should be serious about it. If you're doing a serious test and you're really looking for something, that's the right way to do it. The other way to do it, which we did in the pub, and which is coming up a bit later on in this episode of the Skeptic Zone, was not to have a formal test, but to have a test more for interest, for people to see that we do test things and have a bit of a laugh and have some fun, and we all had a good time. And that informal test will make a small part of the larger, more rigorous formal test where we will be very serious and make sure everything's done absolutely correctly. But I really enjoy it. I really enjoy testing water diviners. I enjoy listening to psychics when they're trying to talk with the dead and analysing what they're doing. I think it's one of the more interesting aspects of what we do.
Yeah, I agree. And I wish that we would have more people coming in to test. But so far it has been. But it doesn't happen in a day anyway. So when we become more known, then probably this is what's going to happen.
It may well do, although I'd probably have to tell you that from my experience with the Skeptics and the James Randi Educational Foundation, it's surprising how many people won't come and put their name forward to be tested. They just won't do it. Even though there's lots of money as a prize, a lot of people simply won't do it. Or again, a lot of people can't tell us exactly what their claim is anyway, so it doesn't go very far. But every now and then we do get some people. Do you have anybody seriously in Russia who might be tested?
Like I said last time, things haven't changed. The internet and stuff like that, we don't have big names anymore, and I think that it becomes true for all the world that big names are slowly going down, whereas we have many local. But we have many local people who are, for example, eating prana. Do you know the prana eaters? People who claim that they're not eating actual food.
Oh,
and,
right.
So they're eating prana, and prana is very cool. It's very cool. It's very tasty. These people usually look pretty weighty. Can I say that? Weighty. And so they must be getting this from somewhere, but they claim this is prana. But the difficulty here, of course, is that whenever you are testing something medical, especially when you're putting a person at risk, is very difficult from a legal standpoint.
Oh, absolutely.
But we have a number of people.
You are absolutely right. And it's one of the occasions where we probably wouldn't really go very far with that because we would be putting people at risk. And in fact, many years ago, and I think it's on YouTube, the 60 Minutes program here in Australia, one of their reporters, who was a good friend of the Skeptics, a man by the name of Richard Carlton, who sadly died some years ago, he tested a breatharian, which I think is probably the same sort of thing you're talking about, where the 60 Minutes program had her secured in a hotel room and monitored around the clock to make sure she wasn't eating. And within a few days, she became very ill because she wasn't eating. And they had to stop the experiment.
Well, we were thinking about like a middle ground there. That, okay, so we will let them stay hungry for like 2-3 days, but then we make measurements like of their urine samples.
Yeah.
And if they're not eating, then very quickly, even within 24 hours, we can see that in certain body liquids, and that will be fine. We don't need to starve them to death.
Yeah.
That is one of the approaches, but the difficulty here is that a person has to say yes to for their bodily fluids to be taken as samples. And so usually at this point they say, oh, no, this is mine, I can give it to you.
Yeah, and with the case of the one here in Australia, a woman by the name of Yasma Heen, who won our Bent Spoon Award many years ago for these claims, after a few days she said that the reason she was getting ill was she was breathing in city air and not clean country air. So they took her to the country, but it didn't make any difference, of course. But they'll always find an excuse, Kirill. They will always find an excuse.
Yeah. But I guess that this is a point where you sort of hope that intelligent people will see that this is the excuse and nothing else.
I think intelligent people will. I think that absolutely happens. Well, Kirill, it's really good to catch up with you again, and it's really good to know that you, like we here in Australia and other skeptical groups around the world, are out there doing the tests, are out there getting people interested in skepticism. I think that's so important. How can people, I mean, they hear it on the commercial, of course, but how can people find out more about what you're doing?
Right, so our probably central hub is our website, www.skepticsociety.ru, and we have the forum, which is finally coming to life, and more people are actually hanging out in the forum. And at vk.com, the Russian Facebook social network, this is where our activities are regarding social networks. We're not currently present on Facebook. So this is probably it. And we have meetings in like more than 10 cities right now.
Wow.
Across Ukraine, Kazakhstan as well. So people can do that. And we have a meeting today, actually. And so we're going to be having some skeptical discussions today.
That's very exciting. I'm so pleased to hear that. It's always good to know of active people, no matter where they are in the world, spreading the message of skepticism, which is basically the message of science and the scientific approach and how it's progressing our society. Well, Kirill, all the best. Good luck to you again. And as I think I probably said last time, who knows, one day I might be able to visit you in Moscow.
Yay, thanks. Thank you, Richard.
Раз, два, три, четыре.
Друзья, меня зовут Кирилл Алферов, и я основатель общества скептиков. Мы зовем вас на наши встречи, которые проходят каждые 2 недели в Москве, и также приглашаем послушать наш подкаст, который выходит каждую неделю. Подкаст называется «Скептик», а сайт, на котором вы можете узнать о нашей деятельности, это www.skepticsociety.ru. Hey everybody, my name is Kirill, and I'm the founder of Skeptic Society Russia. Come visit us in Moscow in our bi-weekly meetings, and also listen to our weekly podcast, which is called Skeptic. And the site where you can find all of that is skepticsociety.ru.
Welcome to A Week in Science from RiAus, bringing you the science you need to know. Should space be a women's world? Female astronauts might just have the edge when it comes to long-haul space exploration and travel, so stick around to find out if ladies who lunch should become ladies who launch. If you want to be first in line for a ticket to Mars, it might help to be female, as it's been suggested these long-haul trips be exclusively helmed by the so-called fairer sex. Why? Well, part of it has to do with physiology. early research indicated that women have stronger hearts and can therefore better handle low oxygen, low gravity environments, and can also withstand greater vibrations and radiation. Psychologically, women might also cope a little better, with some research suggesting they're less affected by isolation and a lack of sensory input. Women are also said to increase cohesion and teamwork within the tight-knit teams necessary for space exploration. But there's one specific area where sending women to space makes a lot of sense. Dollars and cents, that is. That's right, when it comes to economics, ladies are a whole lot lighter on the hip pocket. On a Mars mission simulation in Hawaii, females were found to expend less than half the calories than their male counterparts for the same exercises and tasks, therefore needing half the amount of food. As the difference in size between the guys and girls gets greater, so do the savings. By the time you compare a small woman to a large man, they require less than half the resources. The other benefit this creates is that less food on board a spacecraft means less weight and therefore less fuel. And now, let's blast off into 4 fast facts about female astronauts. The first woman in space was Valentina Tereshkova, who flew from the Soviet Union in 1963 at the tender age of 26. Tereshkova orbited the Earth 48 times over 3 days, a record at the time. Out of 536 total space travellers, 59 have been women, a mere 11%. American astronaut and overachiever Sunita Williams holds the female records for longest spaceflight, 195 days, most spacewalk time, 50 hours and 40 minutes, and most spacewalks, having exited the hatch 7 times. That's it for this week in science. For more information on ladies in space, go to the RiAus website, riaus.org.au. Follow us on Twitter at RiAus and like us on Facebook. I'm Casey Harrigan and we'll catch you next week.
Hey, Heidi.
Oh, hi, Joe.
Hi, Heidi.
Oh, hi, Maynard.
Hi, Maynard.
Oh, hi, Joe.
Nice day in this park, yeah?
Yes, great weather.
Oh, look, a unicorn.
A unicorn? There are no such things as unicorns, silly.
Yes, there are.
No, there isn't.
Hey, ladies, what are you arguing about?
Joe thinks unicorns are real.
They so are.
Let's look this up in the Skeptics Dictionary.
The what?
How can we do that in this park? There are no computers here.
You ladies probably don't know about the Skeptics Dictionary app, available now for iPhone, iPad and iPod Touch in the App Store.
Yeah, we do. We've been listening to the Skeptic Zone for years, you know.
Yes, okay. The app lets you access all the great Skeptics Dictionary articles when you're on the go. Here, let me look up unicorns.
Oh, cool. Heidi, prepare to be proven wrong.
It says here the unicorn is a creature from fables.
Aha!
Actually, I see now that someone just dumped their ice cream cone on that horse's head.
Thanks, Skeptic Dictionary iPhone app.
That's just some guy in his undies.
Recently, Australian skeptics came into possession of a premium wine card. If you don't know what the premium wine card is, I recommend you go to the website of Premium Wine Card. Just Google Premium Wine Card or Wine Card. This is a credit card-sized card made out of metal, very light metal, which the claims are that if you rub this card against a wine glass, it will make the wine inside the wine glass taste better. You can turn standard wine or normal wine into premium wine, so the claim is. Needless to say that we were, and still are, skeptical of this amazing claim. So the other night at Sydney Skeptics in the pub, we had a lot of fun. We had lots of glasses of wine lined up, and we had 2 cards. One was the premium wine card, another was a dummy or placebo card, exactly the same size and weight. Both cards were wrapped up in paper. Nobody knew which was which. They were labelled X and Y, and the toss of a coin decided which of the 2 glasses our volunteers would try first. Anyway, let me take you now to Sydney Skeptics in the pub, and we can listen in on the night's test. So we're here at Sydney Skeptics in the pub, and tonight we're doing a more or less an informal test of the wine card, the premium wine card. And I've got Signa Kane here with me from the Australian Skeptics. Australian Skeptics committee here in Sydney. Signa, what's your opinion? Should the skeptics keep testing these devices? I mean, we're sceptical of them, very. I mean, I really have to emphasise that. We're very sceptical of this device. Do you think it's still something we should be doing, is testing all these things?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's, firstly, it's fun. It's an entertaining way to teach people something about science and about how science works and about how people should approach these things. For example, I was just being told that somebody at home their relative at home has a magnetic wine decanter or something where
really?
They put down the bottle and then they swear that their wine tastes so much better after 15 minutes. And because they don't think about these things in a scientific way, so they don't think, well, I could actually test this at home. I could get 2 bottles of wine, or I could get someone else to try it. They just put it down. They believe the marketing claims. So skeptics doing this test, even if it's just informal, even if it's just for a bit of fun, and everyone here knows that it's probably not as controlled as it could be, I'm pretty sure we're still teaching people something about it. So I think it's valuable, and it's also fun. It's also just fun to get together and do it.
I think you're absolutely right. It's a nice social opportunity, and people are very interested. And everybody here who wants to be gets to be part of the broader test of the wine card. And I think that's that's a good thing.
Yeah, I agree. So I think it's good to test things and just get together, learn something, have a bit of fun, have a bit of wine in this case, or whatever else it is. And then next time when you're confronted with a claim like this, try this, it's going to be so much better. You know some of the principles behind it that might be influencing you, and you're just a tiny bit smarter and maybe less gullible to all these people who are just trying to sell you crap.
Maybe. Thanks, Signa.
No worries.
And the wine card is being tested as we speak. I'll just come around the back here. I'm with Jessica Singer from the Australian Skeptics. Jessica, we're testing the wine card informally here in the pub.
Indeed, and I am recording the results with much conscientiousness and accuracy.
Now, we don't know which card is which in the little envelopes there.
No, we've got no idea.
The person who did it is
a non-drinker.
And there's a toss-up coin to help the randomisation now. Amy is just tasting it now. First glass. Oh, interesting expression on the face.
Ecstasy.
Oh, she seems to like that one.
Nodding, yeah.
Now the second glass, which may or may not be treated with a wine card. Here we go. She's thinking. The first one. She's going for the first one. Well, yes, finish them off.
That's right. Nobody goes thirsty in our test.
That's true. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Now, Gary.
So how many trials have we had so far?
10. We're on to number 11.
A brief glance is, I can't see any particular pattern appearing, but we'll see how it goes. And then after about 20 trials, we'll see which card is the wine card, which card is the dummy, the fake one.
Yeah.
Now the next trial is underway, and they're running the 2 cards. One is a placebo, and one is
One has to gently caress the card against the glass. It's obviously all in the wrist action, don't you think, Richard?
One could say that about many things, Jessica,
Indeed.
but one could.
Indeed.
Ian Bryce is using one card there, and Gary, our volunteer at the moment, is using the other one on the wine. It's about 15 seconds, I think, gentlemen, as specified by the wine card.
The concentration. It's
Toss the coin.
very impressive.
Tossing the coin, and it's
Australia, so we try that one.
Okay.
X, the second one. Gary's sampling the wine.
Like wine.
It smells like wine. It's a good sign. Tasting it now. Tasting it again, to be sure. He seems rather undecided. Now he's trying the second one. Second glass, treated with or without the wine card, we don't know.
I get the impression that the second one doesn't smell as much, as fruity, as winey as the first one.
Interesting, okay, all right. And he's trying the second one now.
I think I can honestly say that this one, the second glass, tastes blander.
Interesting. So you're going to go for the first one, which is X in this stage.
Well, my personal preference would be for the one with the less sort of spicy bite.
Ah, interesting. Right.
So that for me, the second one is better.
Oh, the second one is better. All right. Another test underway. What's your answer there?
Very fine X.
Oh, very fine X. It's interesting. How many have we got now, Jessica?
Well, we've got
Difference was very fine.
We've got
certainly not very fine.
5 Ys,
Yeah.
5 Ys, 4 X's, and 3 equals.
So that totals 12. So we've done 12 tests so far. There's not much of a pattern emerging, I must say. There's no strong favouring one or the other. We've got people lined up to try it. So, Signa, we were just discussing earlier that these tests are good fun, and this is good fun. People are lining up, they're rubbing their wine with their cards, they're tasting each one, they're making funny expressions on their faces. There goes the toss of the coin again. So I think it's a really worthwhile exercise.
I think so too, particularly if you get a takeaway message that next time you see something like this, you might just pause and think about it a bit more skeptically. I think that's really the most important aspect of doing this, because if we were thinking about the protocol here, there's probably a lot of things that we didn't.
Lax.
It's quite lax.
It's quite
lax.
lax.
For example, we don't even have a control glass that has not been rubbed, but that's still good fun. And also, if everyone had to drink from 3 glasses, we'd all be stumbling out of here.
The good thing is, the claim is this card also works on water, so maybe we can try that another time.
Oh, yeah. It's homeopathic wine card.
We're getting down to the business end. The coin is tossed again. Australia. The coin has a kangaroo on one side and Australia on the other. That's why we're saying these strange things. Another taste going underway. What do you think of your first selection there?
Tastes like wine.
Tastes like wine. That's the answer we've been getting a lot lately tonight, I think.
Skeptics, nothing if not insightful, accurate, sharp as needles we are.
Oh, we are. He can't make up his mind. Identical, yes. Good answer, yes. Valid answer, thank you.
Thank you.
Now our very own Jessica Singer is going to try. So both glasses are being rubbed with the cards. One is a placebo card and one is the real wine card. We don't know which is which. They're rubbing them for 15 seconds. Time's up. Now we'll toss the coin, Ian. Kangaroo. So she tastes glass wine. What do you think of the first one, Jessica?
It's wine.
There you go, the skeptical answer. Now she's going to try the second one. It's amazing, yes.
It's not Scotch.
It's not Scotch, no. Now that would be a great card, wouldn't it? And the second one?
It's equal.
Equal. All right, we've got another equal score.
So the kangaroo, so you start with that one, please.
Wow. Oh, my God.
What do you think? Is there a difference, Margaret?
Drink it all.
There was a bit of a difference.
Easy to clean up.
X small.
Oh, X marks the spot. Well, not long to go. We've only got a couple more people to go through the tests before we reveal which card is the placebo and which is the wine card. And just to remind ourselves that tonight is all about fun. It's showing people that skeptics like to have fun. Everybody's here is enjoying the evening. We'll get some results and we'll include them in any report, but they're strictly non-scientific and just part of the overall enjoyment of being a skeptic and testing things. And the final test of the evening's coming up, and this time We're
doing with water.
Water. As per the claims on the website, it does work with water, so here we go.
Okay, which water tastes like Sydney water? Which one tastes like Adelaide?
It's young Tom trying it with the water, and he just reported that rubbing the card on the glass feels very silly. I have to agree, it looks silly too.
They do a lot of things that feel silly.
Time's up.
Okay. Now wait till we see which one we're going to sample first. So that's Australia, so we try that one first, please.
I think this one tastes fish. Watered down.
He says this one's watered down.
Are you Catholic?
Can you tell the sunniness?
It's much stronger that way.
But which water is the better tasting, do you think? This one or this one?
I'm not sure. Probably.
You can say neither.
It's okay to say they're equal.
No, you can't.
But they aren't equal.
Oh.
I told you, this one tastes a bit watered out. I'm not sure which one.
Which one do you prefer?
Yeah, but which one should I prefer?
It's up to you.
That's up to you.
What tastes like the water?
He's trying them both together.
It's Dizzy Gillespie.
Why?
Why?
Is that the last one?
That's the last one. Yeah, I just feel it's
20. No, I think he's asking why.
That's all right. That's our 20 trials completed.
Yay!
And our scorekeeper Jessica's just going to quickly tot up the X's and the Y's and the equals.
Can I have a reveal, please?
Coming up after the break, we'll find out.
Okay. X. The vote for X got 7 votes. That X was better. Y got 6 votes.
Ooh.
And equal, like no difference, 7 votes.
Wow.
What a boring bunch.
Now the reveal.
We now have the reveal.
Ian is opening.
$10 that this one's the not placebo.
Ian is opening.
Scientists don't bet.
Card letter X.
So X is the wine card.
X is the wine card.
Would you like to open that one, Richard? That shows
the wine card too.
The Y was the placebo.
the roofing iron. So the wine card got 7 votes as giving the better result, and the placebo got 6 votes as giving the better result. So, do we think that's within the range of normal chance?
Yes.
So that means that on a Bayesian basis we can say that the results were entirely consistent with chance, and that is a failure to confirm the theory.
3 cheers for Bays.
Well, there you go. Not a good result for the premium wine card. Now, these informal tests, done really for fun, will make a small part of a much broader but more rigorous test that we'll be conducting a little bit later this year on the premium wine card. Again, if you want a good laugh, go to the premium wine card website and have a look at the videos. But maybe we've given you some ideas for your own skeptics in the pub if you want to hold an informal test to test some far-fetched claim. Our friends in Canberra, the Canberra Skeptics, want you to know that this Wednesday night, the 11th of March, from 6 p.m. till 7:30 p.m. at the Ainslie Football Club, you can enjoy a free talk by Dr. Vanessa Beanland, The Dark Side of Visual Attention. Why do we sometimes fail to notice the obvious? Most people believe that what they see is a faithful representation of what actually exists in the world. This notion provides the rationale for giving credibility to eyewitness accounts and using human observers as watchguards. Research into visual attention, however, has revealed that consistently seeing is more complex than simply looking. Dinner will follow the lecture, by the way, but you need to RSVP for that. Look, just head for www.canberraskeptics.org.au for more information. Thank you for listening to The Skeptic Zone. Coming up in the next weeks, we've got some more from Joe Alabaster, more from Heidi Robertson, the Raw Skeptic, and maybe some more from you, Maynard. Who knows?
That's right. In between, I'm on tour with Village People. I'm on tour with Village People, so keep an eye out for me in Wollongong and Penrith around New South Wales this week.
Wollongong and Penrith. What are the dates for the Wollongong?
Oh, Friday night, of course, Wollongong, and Saturday night, Penrith. See you there, Village People fans. And remember, it's not the Village People. They're a collective noun. They're from people from the Greenwich Village, so they're just Village People. You learn something every day, even if you don't want to.
You do. Well, that's good. I hope you have a good time with that, Maynard. And once again, everybody, thanks for listening. Thanks for those people who support the Skeptic Zone. Muchly appreciated. And until next week, this is Richard and
Maynard saying it's not You Can't Stop the Music. The name of the movie is just Can't Stop the Music.
Signing off from Sydney, Australia.
I said young man.
You've been listening to the Skeptic Zone podcast. Visit our website at www.skepticzone.tv for contacts, an archive of all episodes since 2008, and our online store. Please support the Skeptic Zone by following us on Twitter @Skeptic Zone, liking us on Facebook, and leaving a review on iTunes. You can also show your support by subscribing via PayPal for as little as 99 cents a week. The Skeptic Zone is an independent production. The views and opinions expressed on the Skeptic Zone are not necessarily those of Australian Skeptics Inc. or any other skeptical organisation.